just glad to have you at all.
All right, does that fix it? Yep, that should fix it there. All right, they hear us. Okay, we're good. All right, we'll do our introductions again. Let's start over. So, hey everybody, and welcome to the Multiverse show, season 5, episode 24. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Sorry about that. Technical issues on occasion. Thank you OBS for updating and changing everything. So, let's take a look here. They should be able to hear us. I'm hearing in the chat they can't hear us, but oh yeah, they can't hear us. Okay, we're good. All right. So, quick introductions. We have the Baron of Britain himself, Mr. James Wilson. How you doing, sir?
I am even more tired than normal because I've literally about 2 minutes ago arrived back from a big day at work. So I am gonna love you and leave you with a review at some point. But hell yeah!
All right. And we have Mr. Samuel Tolbert, the White Wolf. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Glad to have a full squad, pun intended, here.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. This is Anchor. We have V2, aka Ivan Siler. Thank you guys for watching. All right, so we're gonna jump into things because we know James is pressed for time. We always want to make sure he gets a chance to talk about the cinematic landscape that's available to us. But first off, we ask a question we ask every single week: what have you guys been playing? James, have you got a chance to play anything, or are you too busy fighting off attackers?
Nothing new. I did actually get into another fight.
Got to another fight?
I got into it. No, but I was defending someone this time.
Ooh, all right. I need to start playing Street Fighting Man. Give me a minute. Here's my phone.
You're actually doing this? Yeah, no, unfortunately, no, I haven't had the chance to play anything new. I'm still just going through the career mode in F1 2021, which is amazingly fun, as it always has been. I've been going to movies. I've gone to the theatre. I've gone to an actual musical in the past week and a half, which was just so nice to be back inside a theatre. Please go and support theatre when everything opens up safely, wherever you are. It's just the best form of entertainment. But unfortunately, no games.
Yep. All right. Did Sam get a chance to play anything?
Yeah, I would tell you, but there's this 7'2" armored gentleman standing over me, telling me not to talk about what I've been playing this past weekend. So I guess y'all will find out when you find out. If you follow me on Twitter, you should find out pretty soon. I spent all weekend playing something and doing basically nothing else, but I can't say what the game was, unfortunately.
All right, fair enough. We were talking about before we found out the audio issue. You and I were both playing Last Stop. That's currently on Game Pass. For those of you who don't know, I don't want to say it's more narrative based. I guess I wouldn't say it's more like a Telltale kind of model. I mean, there are options there, and like they do have repercussions. But I don't get the impressions that like it drastically changes the story. I don't get the impression of that. I haven't finished it. That. But what I was saying is like I think like, the tone of it is more like a not like Goosebumps, but like the Haunting Hour, that Next Step Up kind of stuff. Like just odd concepts. They're just a little more geared towards a slightly more mature child audience. That's the feeling I kind of get.
I definitely get that. Like it's not crass or anything, but it's definitely meant for teens type like as the angle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just like weird little concept pieces. It's interesting story enough. So hey, I think it's fun. I know I finished up Bright Memory just because I bought it for the Series X update when it came out. But I've been playing all over the place. I played the Back for Blood beta. Have you guys got a chance to play that at all?
I did not, unfortunately.
Nope, me neither.
It's basically just Left 4 Dead, which is totally fine.
Okay, cool.
James, you played Left 4 Dead? played at all?
I played Left 4 Dead 2, yeah.
Okay, so it's right on the border of being before your time. I wasn't quite sure. So yeah, it's basically Left 4 Dead. The major
7?
shape. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Like I don't know if you got a chance to play it after the fact or not. I don't know. So anyway, so Back for Blood is basically just Left 4 Dead again. However, it's more it's more quality of life improvements that make it more interesting. At least when it comes to the PVE. Like they drastically shake things up. Like in Left 4 Dead 2 specifically, they kind of made it so you would um, like they would shake up like okay, enemy placements are a little bit different, but normally the same kind of rate. But then they would also like okay, we're going to move some of the weapon locations around. They would do things like that, but it was still largely the same kind of experience every time. This one, like each run is different even if you're doing the same stuff, each run is different. Like there's one segment where like you're supposed to go from the safe room to go across this bridge to a ferry. The first time we did it, you run across like we called them pimps because it's just like one giant arm and they slap you a lot. I forgot what they called them, but yeah, this they would so you fight against those guys and like there's like two or three on the bridge and they're a pain in the ass. But it's like okay, we got past those okay. The second run that we did, it was like one or two of those, but then like six Herkers. And these are kind of like the spitters, but these are actually I think are more of a pain in the ass than spitters. From Left 4 Dead, it's more when they hit you with the spit, you actually get locked in place and you can be knocked down pretty quickly. They are way more deadly. So, but like it's like that one we got wiped on that first one. We didn't even change the difficulty level. But it's each experience is drastically different and can either be a lot harder or a lot easier. So it just depends on your kind of your luck of the roll there. It's a wild experience, and like it is a lot of fun. I am very much looking forward to the actual full release of the game. I have not played the PvP mode, but my understanding is it's not like the original, or like not like Left 4 Dead, where it's more like, hey, it's the same campaign, but who can get farther. It's more about who can outlast the other team. Where it's like one person's playing zombies, one person's playing survivors, and they go back and forth and take turns and see who can last the longest without dying. It's kind of lame, but whatever. I'm mainly here for the PVE content, so I really thought it was quite polished for what it was. So, all right, so let's go ahead and start talking about our main thing for the evening. The Suicide Squad dropped this weekend. James, did you see this in the theater or did you do HBO Max?
I saw it in the theater because HBO Max does not exist in this country.
Wasn't positive about HBO Max. That's why I asked.
Yeah, so we'll come back to like its release on HBO Max specifically because there is stuff to talk about. Has anyone else seen it, or is it just me?
I have seen
it. I've seen it. Yep.
We've all seen it.
Right.
Opening weekend, a rare occurrence here.
Great. Cool. Wow, we've all seen a movie. We've all done the same thing. God, when was this ever happened? Edith Finch? That's about it.
I think like what was it? I think there's been some other movie where we've actually all seen it like as soon as.
There's been like Marvel stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like there's been other stuff where we've all seen it, but it's always weird because most of the time either you get it early or you get it late, and so it's one or the other. But we all got it at the same time. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to have it. So, so this is the new film in the DC Extended Universe for all intents and purposes, despite the fact that they don't really mention any other of the DC films. It is a sequel to 2016 Suicide Squad, very, very loosely. It is in name only, really. The energy of it, the aesthetic of it, the tone is vastly different, as everyone will know from the trailers and everything like that. This film is directed by James Gunn, who everyone will know as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians 2. However, that you want to reference here is probably the Belko Experiment, which he's the writer on, the producer, and his horror comedy Sliver. That's much more, even Super as well, the Rainn Wilson film with Elliot Page. This stuff is very much in proper James Gunn, weird, gory, very, very specific kind of humor, not kowtowing to a studio, and yet it is a big studio blockbuster that hasn't really busted any blocks. I don't really need to talk about and explain who the characters are to you guys, and if you're listening to the show, you know who the Suicide Squad is. You've seen all these trailers, you know what's going on. But for those of you who don't, I'm not going to list all the characters because there's loads, and because there's so many, a lot of them don't make it past the first scene. Sorry, guys. Someone came into my cinema, right, and they missed the first 20 minutes, and they said, "Have I missed much?" And I could not explain what happened in the first 20 minutes in 40 seconds so they could enjoy the rest of the movie. I couldn't do it. It's impossible. Even if they missed the first 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it's crazy.
Honestly, I would maybe even 3 minutes. Maybe even. I need to go back and check, but like
I want to say it's the 10-minute marker. I mean, I can go check right now.
Who are going to carry us through the emotional weight of this film, and it is 100% them. Daniela Melchior, I want to say something like this might be her first film. The person who plays that Bratcat's doing, and check that up right now.
Yeah.
While I check that up, Sam, what do you think?
I'm trying to think of how to put it without spoiling, because there's so much I want to say, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's a spoiler. Oh, that's a spoiler. It's one of those kinds of movies.
I would say just don't say who dies. That'll be a lot easier.
I'm just trying to work around it. I agree with practically everything James has said. I'll put that out there. I think that Ratcatcher and Polka Dot Man were surprisingly interesting. This is not a surprise. King Shark is great. I love him. He is best boy.
But this King Shark seems to be a lot of it's taken from the Harley Quinn show. I looked into this. It is a pure coincidence. This film went into production before the Harley Quinn TV show went into production. So it is an utter coincidence that they have both created King Shark as a comedy character.
Yeah. There are some differences.
They went drastically different routes behind that, but yeah, they both decided let's make him a comedic character.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, there's that. There's a couple of things that are not problems, but I think that it's watching this film, it is very obvious seeing this. I liked Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character. I think Bloodsport is really cool. However, it is very obvious they did that role thinking it could have been him or Deadshot as Will Smith.
They literally wrote similar things for them.
Hang on. It is very obvious that the role could have been filled by either. And then on a very similar but to me more offensive vein, just in terms of how it made the movie flow, James is 100% correct. It is very obvious that Harley had some side plot scenes because Margot Robbie's shooting schedule was different than a lot of the other actors. It is very obvious that they had to give her something to do when she isn't with the main cast. That being said, I think it is a blast. I think it is fun. It has Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn humor. But at the same time, this is the guy who made Slither. And let him be, not be bound by a PG-13 rating and watch what happens. It's good. It's really good.
I mean, there are when it comes to the villain, we all know it. Starro. Someone said something. I mentioned that in my radio show, and someone told me, "Oh no, that's the spoiler that he's the villain." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It's in the trailer. He's a big fucking kaiju. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Surprise!" Oh my god. I would have liked more of the hive mind, because when it's a spoiler. Is it?
I think it's a spoiler.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that is. Yeah.
No, because I'm not gonna be like no. When they go inside to get to Starro, which is the mission, they all know that it's the mission. They're confronted with, oh no, you're right. Can't do that.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
whatever that is, that the thing that I'm talking about, I wanted a bit more of that.
I agree with you. I know what you're getting at, and I agree with you.
If you put more of that, you have to take something else away because this movie is already a little bit too long.
Yeah,
because a lot of
real,
and
just a tiny bit.
A lot of the jokes are remarkably similar. Of hey, this is funny. Hey, we're having fun. Look, he's exploded, and the joy of that is it is funny every time. But does it have to be the same joke? Like it felt a lot like The Boys to me. A lot of the comedy in this, which is not the worst thing in the world. But obviously this thing does have its own identity. But there are a lot of shared jokes. Nitpicking, obviously, because I really did. And by the way, I did look it up. This is Ratcatcher's first film, a live action film in the English language. She's a Portuguese actor. She was the voice of Spider-Gwen in the Portuguese dub of Spider-Verse.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
That's neat. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll wrap it up by saying I agree with you, James. I 100% agree with you. I know the spoiler thing you're talking about, and I would like more of it as well. The issue is I have no idea how the hell you make that work. Because
I think,
you could trim a couple of jokes. There's one scene in particular with Harley. I think you'll know what I'm talking about. I think you could easily cut that, and it's a funny reference to who she is as a character now, but you could cut it and it probably wouldn't hurt the pacing of the film. I don't know. It's tough. But overall, that's a lot of nitpicking for a film we all, I think, broadly agree is very good.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out a couple moments of it. There's an action scene involving Harley Quinn escaping something, and for me, that is the single best action sequence that DC has done in any of the movies to this point. Yeah. From start to finish, it was outstanding. I genuinely applauded when it finished in the cinema. I have not seen such a command of a specific of a good 2-minute sequence from any of the DC movies. It was flawless.
Agreed.
It's almost worth the price of admission just for that.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is banging, and it has a Fratelli song in it, and no one in America knows who the Fratellis are. They're an indie rock. They're a Scottish indie rock band from the mid 2000s, and now they're in a Suicide Squad movie. I'm jazzed.
Yeah. I will say, at least with Suicide Squad, this is some of the production background stuff. So back in 2018, James Gunn got in trouble with Disney because you don't remember, but James Gunn used to work for Troma, the guys behind Toxic Avenger. So he has a history of really bad tweets. Really, really bad tweets.
Yep.
Literally designed to outrage people. But people who don't know that he worked for Troma, of all places, didn't know this, and so they kind of dug up his old tweets. There's political reasons behind it about why they did this, but for a short period of time, Disney fired him and they backed away from him. Eventually, they picked it back up again and admitted they made a mistake. But Warner Brothers pounced on that opportunity and got him to work on this film. And I almost guarantee you, they told him, "We want you to make Guardians of the Galaxy, but Suicide Squad." Because a lot of the same elements are in here, but they're different enough to me. Oh yeah, go get a wrestler. We need a wrestler to be an actor and make him surprisingly good. Instead of Dave Bautista, it's John Cena. Oh yeah, get a big name actor to be the voice for a giant CGI character.
Okay, the wrestler thing, I'm going to pick you up on that because turning Batista from a wrestler to Dave Bautista, the actor, that is all Gunn. That he did that 100%. John Cena has already established himself as a very, very good comedic actor. He's the new, and I mean this when I say this. This is how important this is. He's this generation's Leslie Nielsen.
I see that.
He can say literally anything in his style, and it will be funny.
Yeah. Well,
he can say the most ridiculous things, like for example, if there were a million dicks on this beach and I would eat it for liberty, I would do it. It just works. I can't do it, but when he does it, it's brilliant.
Yep. But no, what I'm getting at there is more. There's very similar check boxes, and you definitely see those check boxes. But I think James Gunn, like the part where he succeeds here, is he doesn't do what I was afraid he was gonna do. Where okay, I was more afraid that they were gonna say, okay, we're gonna make this literally Guardians of the Galaxy. We're gonna do family, like we're gonna do the whole theme of found family. And at
See,
most, I kind of got the idea of like just respect your coworkers.
no, it is very much a. Someone put it this way, and they put it brilliantly. This is not a you're supposed to love these people, or you think they love each other. This is a. At the end of the day, they give each other a grunt and a nod as they go home. Like.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And there's like don't get me wrong, there's some rally together, work together moments, but
Sure.
but I never had that fear, though I completely understand what you're saying, Ivan. I never had that fear when I learned it was James Gunn and it was rated R. Those two things alone were enough to make me go, oh no, we don't need to worry about that. We're not falling into that trope. Had this been PG-13, I definitely would have been.
Yeah, I was more concerned just because I didn't want him to be literally just told, "Hey, make the same movie again, but for us." And I just that's where it was like, okay, there were definitely some things that were like definitely studio meddling. Like I would say the Harley Quinn stuff, where it's like, "Hey, we want you to do like 15, 20 minutes of just Harley's story of what she's doing." Like, is it good?
And one scene of hers is going to be directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Yep. Just like this, something like that. Like you definitely think that like there was like certain studio mandates that went down for them, and they were like, "All right, cool, I'll do that." But then he does something different with it, and like I will say, like okay, the thing with Starro, you guys were young, but there was a time in the early 2000s where almost every superhero movie ended with a big bad guy squashing in through New York or some other location, and we haven't done that in a while. So it's kind of nice to go back to that, like just for a little bit. I thought Starro was great. I kind of want like a Starro figurine now for my house, like just because. But yeah, I thought it was great. I actually really like Pete Davidson. I'm not gonna say why, but I did like Pete Davidson in playing Blackguard. King Shark was great.
Mhm. I didn't realize that was Nathan Fillion as the detachable kid.
Yep. Because like, they put Nathan Fillion is technically in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's playing. It's like he's on a poster, and like I think he's in a cut scene. I think. But it's more like
Yes.
reference. But he was playing Simon Williams or Wonder Man. But yeah, it's a weird side thing. But yeah, James Gunn likes putting him in his projects. So, but anyway, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a great watch. Yeah, I think it's good.
The box office. People need to calm the hell down. About it, because it's not doing well in America. Maybe it's because loads of people are ill with a plague. Sorry to be literal, but that's why. And also because, of course, a bunch of people aren't watching it because they already have a subscription service where they can watch it at home.
Yeah.
Am I saying that the HBO Max is entirely to blame for it performing badly at the box office? No, but
it's a good point.
Definitely a correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like honestly, here's the thing. The reality of the matter is, there were a couple of films that did okay at the box office this year. Shocker of shockers, Godzilla vs. Kong being one of them. Actually, like did bizarrely well for. Well, I'm not going to get back into that. We've talked about that a lot. But at the same time, James, you're right. Like, that's two big factors. And honestly, just one of them not being there probably wouldn't have been enough. Like, I see so many people blaming on, like, oh, if it wasn't on HBO Max, it would be killing it. And I'm like, there's a lot of people who still won't go back to the theater. I respectfully disagree on this one.
Yeah, and especially with
specifically, like, the fact that the last film was hated.
Yep.
There are people who, we watch, I watch, I try and watch a movie a week at least, if not more. There are the average number of people in the US who go to the theater to watch a movie, one movie a year, is like, they'll go like 2 or 3 times a year. That's it. So, no wonder that people are going to, they think, oh, I saw the last one, I'm not going to go back to see this one. It's a perfectly valid reason to not watch this film. I didn't like the last one, so I'm not going to watch this one. All right.
No, that's a good point. And it's kind of like the whole thing with like Batman versus Superman versus Justice League. And like I would think Justice League, even the Joss Whedon cut was better than Batman versus Superman. Like I still think that's the case as in terms of just an actual film. Now the Snyder cut's significantly better than that. But it's like, yeah, people had a bad taste in their mouth from the first one. It's like, why would I go again?
Mm-hmm.
It's like no matter how good it is, it's too hard.
Then there was the whole Last Jedi Solo follow-up.
Exactly.
Yep.
So people, audiences are not as fickle as studios want them to be.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, maybe they are. Are they fickle? I don't know. I'm really tired.
We know what you're trying to say. It's all right.
It depends. There's only a handful of things you could ever do that make someone's opinion completely change. So, anyway.
Yeah.
So wrapping up thoughts on Suicide Squad, and if you had a, what was it, 5-star review system, what would you give it?
I'd give it a strong 3. And with the potential, if it would be a 4 if it was half an hour shorter.
All right, fair enough. Because it's like 2 hours and 12 minutes roughly, I think. It's kind of long.
It feels longer because like the first 40 minutes is fast paced, and then it just sort of grinds to a halt suddenly.
Yeah, I want to say that very quickly. I've seen some people saying the first hour was slow, but it was the second hour that got me. And you're free to your opinion. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, definitely. I felt first act was fast, second act dragged, third act was good.
Exactly. So to answer that, on a 5-star rating, if I can give a half star, then I would say 3.5 stars. If I'm not allowed to, however, then I will side with James and say a very strong 3-star.
I would say
three stars out of 5.
Yes, yes, 3 stars. Thank you, James.
I guess I'm more generous. I give it 3.5, a solid 4 if you're drunk. Because that film will be absolutely great to watch while drunk. So
I'm sure you're that.
Listen, for me, there are a handful of movies that are better drunk, and I feel like this would be it. There's just enough funny moments that make it even better.
Maybe. Drunk with friends.
Obviously drunk with friends. Being drunk alone, never. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Other than that, there's not much else that really happened. Gamescom's happening the next 2 weeks.
It is for Xbox at least.
Yeah, I mean, and they've already said they're not announcing anything new. It's just going to be updates on pre-existing stuff we already know about. So,
if I'm a betting man, I'd say that's when they're going to announce the release date for Halo Infinite. I think that seems pretty likely.
Yep, that sounds about right. And yeah. So I mean, a best case scenario, this is them being like, "Hey, Fable." Or other games you already know about.
Yeah,
we haven't announced. That's best case scenario.
That's best case scenario, but even then, just bluntly, I wouldn't get my hopes up. I feel like it's more. They did not say this. This is just me putting on my reporter hat. I feel like it's supposed to be more the games that are coming soon-ish that you already know about.
Sure.
What's up with Ninja? What's up with Ninja Theory?
Oh yeah.
What are they making?
Well, might as well say that. Well, apparently they're making the Series X update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
So sorry, go ahead, James. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was saying, oh yeah, the thing that we had scheduled to talk about. I forgot.
Yeah. Honestly, there's not much else to say besides Suicide Squad, so I'm cool.
Yeah, it's a good segue. If you missed the news somehow, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is getting a Series X and S update, adds ray tracing to to both platforms, adds a 120 FPS option to the Series X version. The PC version does not have ray tracing yet, but they are working with porting studio QLOC to get ray tracing on the PC version sometime in the next couple of weeks. So PC players won't be left out for too much longer. It's a good game if you haven't played it. I know we've all talked about it before. Like,
it's very good. It's not as good as other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually
never gonna let you forget that.
No, I'm actually kind of with you on that. Actually, when I first played it, I was like, "This is pretty good." That's it. Like, even before they got bought or anything, I was like, "It's cool, I guess." Like, it's pretty bare bones. I understand it was a small team, but like, they did pretty good for what they had, budget and the amount of people actually working on it. Small scale, but it was good story, I guess.
And the fact that the lead actress had never acted before.
Yeah, that too. And like also the fact they were delving into mental illness and such, and they donated proceeds to that too, and it was like, that's good for what it is. But like then they said like, oh yeah, they're gonna have a bigger budget, and they're gonna be able to like have a larger scale game than before. I'm like, that's cool. I'm not like super stoked. It's not even on my list of anticipated games, honestly. I'm like, cool. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Not much else. But yeah, going back to Gamescom, it's just like, all right, we'll see what happens. Like you said, Sam, like in all likelihood, it's just going to be like, all right, Psychonauts 2 comes out like next week. Be excited.
Yeah, that Halo Infinite's release day. I don't want to say there'd be too much big stuff because I feel like they've had it not hanging over them. That's the wrong word, but like they have had Halo. Halo needs to be in the spotlight for this. Yes. Is what I'm trying to say. Like they need to get Halo out, then they'll talk about the other stuff. So don't expect that other stuff here. I would say it would be safe to expect other stuff at like the Game Awards later this year.
Sure.
Or stuff like that, but not here. This is much more of a, here's more on those games coming out this year you already know about. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're looking for stuff to talk about because we're filling for time, have either of you seen Ted Lasso?
I have not. However, because I recently bought an iPad to do some sketching, I got a free trial for Apple TV, so I intend to watch it very soon.
Could not recommend that show enough. Absolutely fabulous. It's genuinely, it might be the best show on TV at the moment.
Okay.
Like it's
strong words.
It's really brilliant. And like I'm not saying that because I love football. Like the second season that's airing right now weekly, that really doesn't have that much football in it so far. It's nice. It's the first comedy I've seen in a really long time that isn't like achingly cynical at the world. It basically asks, hey, what if we were nice to each other, but also we're gonna like make jokes about it?
Huh,
and
okay.
really think, are there any comedies that have come out in like the last 3 or 4 years, like started, that haven't been really cynical? And I think that this is the reaction to like a post-Trump comedy.
Okay.
Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, because a lot of like the comedies that rooted up in the Trump under the Trump administration were very cynical at the world, because that was a very cynical time. But now we're past that, at least in name only. That the cynical nature of comedy, especially in America, it might be moving. And I think Ted Lasso is a perfect example of that. The people were looking for something nice, and that's what was there available. Mm-hmm. And also, it's about football, and I love football, and I wish more people liked it in the US. And now, thanks to this show, they will.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's the best thing. It's the best thing that Apple TV has by a long way.
I got 2 things for you, James. We had 2 casting announcements.
Yeah.
So first one, I don't think Sam even knows about. John Wick 4. Clancy Brown is being added to that cast. I don't think you know who that is, do you?
Is he really? That's very. I know Clancy Brown. Yeah, he's a Mr. Krabs.
God damn, that's how you know him.
Yeah, but he's also the guard in Shawshank. He's also Detective Hank in Detroit Become Human. He's a bunch of stuff.
He's also in Highlander, main villain. He's
I
also
have never seen
in.
Highlander.
Oh my god, gotta watch Highlander. It's such a
I've
random.
forgotten more movies we've seen.
It's a very weird movie, in terms of like tone, but it's a really cool chill out movie. Totally worth watching. Highly suggested. You get to watch what's his name? Damn. Blanking on it. James Bond.
Brosnan, Craig,
Nope, first
Dalton.
one. Nope, first one. I
Oh,
feel
sorry?
terrible.
Oh, yeah, Connery's in Highlander. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you meant in John
yes.
Wick.
You get to watch you get to watch Sean Connery without putting on any sort of accent play like a Spanish like Latin speaking
Well, that's what
swordsman.
he did. He didn't do accents. That was his thing. Remember when
Yeah.
he was a Russian head of a Russian nuclear submarine?
At least he
Hello, I'm
tried
head
in
of-
Hunt for Red
head of the
October.
Russian
At least he tried.
No, he didn't.
He tried a little bit more than he normally
No.
does.
Sure,
but-
sure he did.
But no, yeah, totally. Like Clancy Brown, I knew him because not as Mr. Krabs, but Lex Luthor in the DC animated universe. That's how I knew him. Because he had the great voice. Anyway, the other one. So you were familiar with the Wednesday Netflix series for the Addams Family that they're doing? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, I did know.
With
I
Tim
did know
Burton.
about it.
Yeah, with Tim Burton is
Yes,
directing.
yes.
They have cast Morticia and Gomez.
Oh, okay. I don't know this.
All right. So I feel like the first one you're not going to be surprised about. The second one you might be a little bit. First one, it's going to be for Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Brilliant.
Yep. Second one, Luis Guzman.
Okay. Wait, what?
Right? Right?
But it makes sense because like Wednesday's supposed to be like in
No,
her
it doesn't.
20s or Thursday, her 20s or 30s. He's supposed to be an
But-
older man.
Yeah, but no. That's not good. No.
Why is it
I
not
don't
good?
like it. I don't know.
Is it just shattering your expectations?
Like, I like Luis Guzman, but cast someone hot. Like,
But like he's also supposed to be like, I don't know, 70.
no, he's not.
Well, think about it. If Wednesday during the regular time frame, if Wednesday is supposed to be like 9 or 10 years old during the course of the regular show, and now she's supposed to be in her like 20s, maybe early 30s, it's like 20 to 30 years, man.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but like I was with you initially, that I started thinking about it. I was like, actually, that does make sense. It's like, yeah,
Like, Luis Guzman, I get him for Festa.
that'd be weird. Like, I feel like Fester's dead. This one.
Yeah, true. But I feel that even the fact that he can't, isn't it that he can't die? He's basically like Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it would honestly be funnier if Fester showed up and he's like looking younger and healthier than ever. I feel like that would actually be the funny way to do it.
All right, guess how old Luis Guzman is. Just guess.
He wasn't young in the 90s when he broke through, so I'm going to guess minimum 55.
You guess 55? Because you realize that's like 30 years ago, dude.
All right, I'm gonna say 70.
64. He'll be
Okay.
later this month. He'll be 65.
All right.
Now, how old is Catherine Zeta-Jones? All right,
She's in her 50s.
she's 51. 51 years
There you
old. 52 next month. So, it makes sense.
She's great.
Yep. I mean, like I said, it makes sense. Like it fits with what they're shooting for. But yeah, like it's good.
Who's Wednesday? Is it someone new?
What's her name?
Yeah.
I want to say it's Christina Ricci, but I'm not positive about that. I know that's what everyone was talking about.
Hold on, I had
Was,
it pulled up
was,
just a
was she,
moment. It's
she was,
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega.
okay, no idea.
Don't know who that is.
Not off the top of my head, no. Is she a Disney
Let's
person?
see.
Disney person.
Let me see. She looks like a Disney person. I'm not surprised.
This is a great
Um,
show for all of you guys listening at home. People look up things.
I'm looking at her. Let's see. Oh, she was in The Babysitter. She was in Iron Man 3, Jurassic
Oh
World.
wait, oh yeah. No, I know her. She's in the Babysitter too. She's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I see that. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yep. Yeah. All right. And she's said to be in Scream. They're doing a reboot.
Oh yes, they're reading Scream. Yeah.
Yep. To be in that too. All right. Cool. But yeah. So just as a heads up for the rest of you guys, in terms of our show schedule, right now we're kind of in this weird in between stage where we're taking a break. But if anything big comes up, we'll let you know and come back. But yeah, right now we're kind of on break until September-ish. 'Cause I don't think. Wait, like James, anything big on the movie front coming out? We couldn't think of anything.
Shang-Chi coming up pretty soon,
What is it?
and Bond.
Oh yeah, James Bond's coming out. When's that coming out again?
Shang-Chi's coming out in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
I am very curious how that's going to do at the box office. I really have no clue.
It's going to do incredibly well for the simple reason that it has an Asian lead. And I'm sorry to be cynical about this, but when it comes to Asian leads in American movies, this is the third one. There is the Love Boat, and maybe not that. There's something to do with a boat. There's Crazy Rich Asians, which did incredibly well at the box office, and it ran for ages and ages. And now you've got, imagine that audience, but Marvel. Everybody and their auntie is going to go and watch this. People are not prepared to how well this film is going to do. Like this is Black Panther for the Asian community.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Right.
I'm sorry, I misheard you before. I was like, what the hell is Chi? I was like, I didn't hear you say Shang-Chi. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, looking things up. I was like, oh yeah, that. Okay. I hope it's good. I really do. My thing is right now, I just have Marvel fatigue, and
Yeah, mate,
it's
coming
got to
out
be something big.
Mate, it's coming out in 24 days.
Yep. So.
I'll do it.
Yep. I hope it gets me excited.
I mean, it's got a lot to do. This is the first new thing from Marvel since Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, technically, Black Widow.
No, introduction of a character. I mean.
Okay, you mean introduction of a new character. Captain Marvel, that came out. Remember?
Yep. Captain Marvel.
Yep.
$1 billion.
Yep, $1 billion. I don't know how, but it did. Like
I
to
don't
this
think
day.
I don't think this will make $1 billion because of COVID and Disney Plus. But I think this will breeze to 600.
Yes, I was going to say 600 million feels solid.
Yeah,
that feels fair.
I feel like that is fair.
Let's not forget, because Marvel is really big in what's that big country, that big box office market that America's trying to break? Oh yeah,
India,
China.
Oh, that was India.
Well, yeah, but they're big in India. But like, this film doesn't star an Indian.
Oh, I
It
guess
stars
that's
a
true.
Chinese man.
Yeah. Nah, I'm down with it. I'll see what happens. I'll see if it gets me interested enough, but we'll see. All right.
Yeah. But if
I
that
guess
doesn't work, you've got Eternals, which whatever the hell that is, in the Spider-Man movie.
I'm not going to go off. I've gone off on Eternals before. I'm not going to do it again.
Well, let me put it this way. I have not bothered going to see a Marvel movie since Endgame. I have tried to watch Captain Marvel. I can't get past the halfway point. I have not even watched the newer Spider-Man movie. I have Marvel fatigue. Like I'm really hurt. So I'm just tired. But like I said, I hope it reignites some passion in there. But it's hard, man. Like it's hard. So anyway, other than that, I guess we'll wrap things up here. James, where can people find you, sir?
The good people can find me on Twitter at James_S Wilson, and they can listen to my radio show on Radio Harrow every Friday at 7 p.m. London time.
All right. And Sam?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Samuel Tolbert. That's TOLBERT. And when I'm not here, you can find me writing stuff over at Windows Central.
Right. And you can find me at Multiverse Show over on Twitter, or you can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, wherever at Anchorman V2. And I do Cheat Code Radio. I normally record on Thursdays, but we drop it 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time over on Cheat Code Radio on YouTube. So that features our good friend Nicholas Downey. We put that show together. So check us out. Let us know how you guys are doing. Thank you guys for tuning into the show, the greatest show on Mondays, and we are out of here. All right, we're clear.